There is a profound difference between choosing solitude and having it forced upon you. When isolation is not a peaceful retreat, but an inescapable cage, it ceases to be calming and starts to become corrosive. The impact is not just emotional. It's a full-scale biological and neurological assault. And the longer it persists, the deeper the damage carves into the human mind.
When a person is locked away indefinitely in a single barren space for months or even years without meaningful work or human contact, their entire being begins to unravel. Let's explore the terrifying science behind this disintegration. Initially, the body's stress response goes into overdrive, flooding the system with cortisol. Without the calming influence of social connection, this heightened state can become the new debilitating normal. Our interactions with others provide a crucial psychological function known as reality calibration. It's how we check our perceptions and emotions against the external world. When this mirror is shattered, a person's grasp on their own identity and what is real can begin to slip. Thoughts can spiral into dark places, paving the way for severe depression, fixations, and for some, a complete break from reality involving psychosis and visions. Over extended periods, this constant state of alarm physically rewires the brain. The limbic system, which governs our fear responses, becomes permanently hypersensitive, stuck in a feedback loop of panic. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex, the seat of our rational thought, judgment, and self-control, can physically atrophy.
This neural shift moves a person from logic toward pure, unmediated emotion. As this new pattern hardens, the individual becomes far more susceptible to intense anxiety, uncontrollable anger, and impulsive, dangerous behavior. Solitude can be a peace, but isolation is a prison for the mind. The body does not escape this punishment. The natural sleep-wake cycle disintegrates, and days blur into a formless void. Physical symptoms often emerge: a racing heart, persistent migraines, bouts of dizziness, and a nervous system so raw it becomes hypersensitive to the smallest stimulus. Weight loss is common, driven by a stomach in knots and a complete loss of appetite. One might try fight back with a strict regimen of cell exercises, reading, or journaling, but these are fragile defenses against an overwhelming psychological siege. This is why the United Nations and leading human rights experts formally classify prolonged forced isolation as a form of psychological torture. Despite this, it remains a standard practice in penitentiaries across many nations.
Known as administrative segregation, or the hole, this practice is most extensively used in the United States. Recent data shows that over 100,000 American inmates were held in these conditions, confined for up to 24 hours daily to tiny, often windowless cells no larger than a parking space. The concept was originally introduced with benevolent intentions by religious reformers seeking a humane alternative to physical punishment. They believed silence and isolation would lead to penitence. But the devastating effects became apparent almost immediately. The author Charles Dickens, after visiting an American prison, declared it a slow and daily tampering with the mysteries of the brain, more cruel than any physical torment. Its use declined, only to resurge dramatically during the tough-on-crime era of the 1980s. As inmate numbers exploded and facilities became overcrowded, corrections staff increasingly relied on solitary confinement to control the population. Many find themselves in the hole for minor, non-violent rule violations, like showing disrespect to an officer. While harmful to any person, it is catastrophically damaging for those already struggling with mental illness, intensifying their conditions exponentially. The scars are not temporary. Those who endure solitary are significantly more likely to develop severe post-traumatic stress. They often report a fundamental change in their personality, a deep-seated paranoia in social settings, and a crippling inability to focus or rebuild connections with other people. The loudest screams are the ones you never hear. Some jurisdictions have begun to impose restrictions, banning the practice for the most vulnerable and setting limits on its duration. However, enforcement is inconsistent and loopholes are often exploited. The evidence is clear. This practice causes immense harm, hinders any chance of rehabilitation, and has not been shown to improve safety within prisons.
Meanwhile, other nations demonstrate a more humane and effective path. Countries like Norway incarcerate a fraction of the people per capita, yet invest heavily in rehabilitative programs, education, and transitional work. The result is one of the lowest recidivism rates on the planet, proving a powerful truth. Healing and growth are not born in isolation, but in community. If this exploration into the depths of the human mind resonated with you, please support our mission by liking this video and subscribing to Winds of Thought.